Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Warm Ones. My guests today are Bussin with the Boys, a podcast that has hundreds of thousands of followers, nay, millions of followers, tens of millions of listens, hundreds of millions of impressions, but two great gentlemen, two football players, two transcendent media personalities, and they're sitting down with me today to answer a few questions. Normally, the way that this show goes, I'll have 6 beers, you guys will have 6 beers, but if I'm not mistaken, you guys aren't really drinking right now? That's not like a focus?
Part of me feels bad that you're trying to take down these 12 beers.
What do you mean trying?
You're going to, my fault. You're going to take down these 12 beers.
We feel like you're going on this journey alone. That's how we feel.
But I'm not alone.
Is this the first one?
This is the first episode of Warm Ones. So for people who don't understand, all of these beers right down the table, piping warm. Okay, and if there's any that even have a little bit of coldness, maybe we sit on them like a mama bird and get them nice and warm, because that's the goal of this show. It's not hot ones, it's not cold ones, it's warm ones. Will, if you were to make a plan to whip Taylor's ass with your bare hands, what would be your first, second, third, fourth, and fifth moves? And similarly, Taylor, if you were going to beat the piss out of Will, how would you start it and how would you finish it?
Ideally, he'd be looking away, and I'd come up behind him, up on his neck, grip him down. Grip him down by the throat. I need to get him to the ground because he's a tall boy. He's got long arms. Everybody's got a puncher's chance, but I know if I'm going to win this fight, I need to be on the ground with them. But if I happen to mount him, then you're on top. You're just throwing strikes, just throwing bombs,
ground and pound,
haymakers. But I'm trying to keep the fight close, because that's where I feel like my advantage would be.
How do you distract him in the beginning? Like, how do you have him looking the other way?
Because I think he's just got to be in a conversation with somebody else, and I just got to be pissed off enough that it's like, for some reason, I'm going behind his back on this one.
Yeah.
But if it was straightforward, I want to close the distance.
And like when you're hearing this, do you feel like that's something that you would try to counter off the bat, like his moves? Like, what does that game plan sound like to you?
I think it's a really strong game plan. If I was Will Compton, I'd go right for my right knee immediately. He knows I have a shaky knee. I got a bad kickstand on the right side. Every time I've tried to wrestle Will, I end up on the ground and Will ends up on top. This is even at like 310-pound Taylor. I'm going right at that low back. I think that's the main way to get Will Compton.
What?
Double thumbs, I think, is the best move. You kind of come in there and just a double press right away. Get him to spaz a little bit, hit that L1 for him. Make sure he's feeling that in the hamstring category. Really, Will Compton, the back of Will is a D1 body all the way through. Fantastic back, great cheeks, strong hamstrings. He's got. It looks really good, but it's a little more fragile than people really give him credit for. So I would go thumbs right on the low back, and then I'd probably start getting at them hamstrings a little bit, and maybe he would go to the ground. He'd be too distracted by the spasms, and that's when you start going after him.
You think you'd just be digging your thumbs in my low back?
Yeah, Captain Insano, except for the eyes, I would go straight at the low back.
Right, the dimples.
The dimples, them cute little dimples, right? And he's got them too.
How would you finish it with Will?
The finish, it kind of finishes the same way ours does. I think I let Will sit in his own pain for a little bit of having the spasm go down his legs, and as he starts to regain, the mobility, you go after the face over and over and over and over.
You'd have to get me unconscious.
Yeah?
I think so.
You feel kind of getting a little tight in here right now.
No, not getting tight. I'm just thinking if you're in a fight, like somebody's going to have to put you unconscious, unless you just can't. Stamina and endurance has kind of left you after being out of the game for a while. Yeah.
And so we're just talking about garden variety punches to the head, to the temple area.
Yeah, if you're going to have this fight between us, one of us has to be unconscious at the end.
Yeah.
At least you want to think that.
Run-of-the-mill bludgeoning to the head.
Yeah. The old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? I know this is your show.
Of course, please.
If there was one employee at Barstool that you would love to fight the way you're explaining me and Will fighting, who would it be?
I think this dude Barstool Beef has it coming, dude.
New beef?
He seems like such a nice guy. There's got to be something under there. And I think there's something about going into the jailhouse and picking the 400-pounder. Right.
And sending a sharp knee to his chin.
Yeah, sharp. Do you see how sharp these knees are, bro?
Them boys are pointing now.
These are so sharp they could cut class, bro. These are
I was telling him, as I was watching him when we were doing the skills challenge, he had on these like light sweatpants, and you could see the wind kind of blowing, but you just saw his knees poking out of the sweatpants.
Yeah, I have the knobbiest knees. And what can you do about them? I can't add mass to my knees. There's no amount of surgeries that are going to save these knees.
Yeah.
What can I do? Honestly, I'm fucked.
I use it as a weapon versus
beef. You got to build
beef.
the quads.
If someone offered you guys $20 million for one of you to gain 100 pounds over the next year, which of you would do it? Taylor, who is clearly enjoying your lean journey, but might have a little bit more frame to add the 100, or Will, who has never reached those heights before, but might bulk up differently?
If he gains 100 pounds, he gets 20 million, or I
You
get 20
guys
million and he gets...
get 20 million as a unit.
But one of us has to gain 100 pounds.
Yes, one of you has to gain 100 pounds for the boys.
For the boys. So we can't split 50 pounds, 50 pounds.
No.
So you would have to go to 325. I'd have to go to like 360. I would do that.
You take it?
Yeah, because if you
Like,
think,
like I would be down for the cause, but
I've lost 60. And so I
know.
know what it's like to be like near those numbers. That's another 40 pounds, but I could
you do know what it's like to be near, but you've never came close.
I know, and honestly, I had such a hard time keeping that weight on. I think it'd be, that last 40 would be really difficult. I think I can gain that 60 back pretty quick. I only get 1 year to do it.
You have 1 year from today.
I appreciate you.
Yeah, I would do it. You wouldn't do it?
You, man. I mean, if I had to, but
You didn't
just
even make
said
a
you
case
do
for
it.
yourself. How would you do it if you had to do it?
I don't know. I mean, you're pounding what? Krispy Kremes every day. You're pounding donuts. You're carb
it's gotta be high caloric.
I mean,
like
are you lifting, trying to do it as well? Because that helps puts on muscle and fat.
I don't think you do. I think you do as little movement as possible, burn as little calories as possible. 100 pounds to gain might be just as difficult as 100 pounds to lose, based on where you're starting at.
Just game all day long.
You might have to do a reverse Frank the Tank.
Is it tax-free? 20 million tax-free?
Yours would be tax-free, and I really had to think a lot about the amount of money on this question. At first I was like $1 million. For you guys? You're laughing at $1 million. Then I even went to $10 million. And I think you guys might be like, I value my health, my body, and how I feel, how I look, how I play right now at the current weight more than $10 million.
I feel guilty saying this, but it probably.
Right. That's
probably.
I could. That's where I would probably have to just take the weight.
That's where you would
So
do
we
it?
get the money, yeah.
But $5 million?
$5 million
To gain
crazy, too.
100 pounds to take years off of your life.
That's still a pretty big deal.
That's a big deal. 20 though is nice. We're both getting 8 figures. Like
Yeah.
I'll lay on that sword for us.
How much weight do you think you could gain for $10 million?
I gained 20 pounds accidentally last year because I saw the wrong TikTok video. So they said that within 30 minutes of waking up, you got to be working out for 30 minutes and eating 30 grams of protein. Yeah. And so I was waking up just like crushing protein, and I put on the fucking sloppiest, tittiest 20 pounds.
Wait. You had to be doing something else. You had to be eating bad the rest of the day. If you're eating 30 grams within 30 minutes and working out, like you would think.
Yeah, but what's
you
like? There's the 30 grams of protein, but what's the protein? What's the calories? What's the carbs? What's the sugar? What were you eating to get that 30 grams?
I was just finding whatever protein.
Gotcha.
It was at last year's Super Bowl. They had those like protein potato chips at the house.
I was basically
having a bag of Doritos the first thing in the morning. I was like, why am I not getting jacked? Why am I not ripped right now? So I think it would go fast, but the health problems come up on you quickly, I think.
Yeah. How much are you right now?
180. Flat.
You'd have to get to 280?
280.
To be a dense human being. You'd be dense.
No.
I feel like you've got a frame though. You got shoulders.
Think I can put it on?
Well, you got
Yeah,
height.
I think you could.
Then, I mean, the
280?
legs,
I mean, you
you
got
could
that
really
long
add.
neck
No, but
too.
these legs don't
You could
take,
really
though.
add some to
They
them
don't
legs.
take, bro. They're fucking either.
Hey, I'm with you on that. My legs have. I think my legs are the same size now as they were when I played.
It's crazy. You ever think about the calf implants?
I used to be really insecure about my calves when I was younger. Like I'd be wearing jeans in the middle of summer in Arizona because I was like, man, my calves are small. I look at my dad and be like, this motherfucker screwed me. But now I kind of mess with my calves. I feel better about it now. Get a feel of that.
What else you were insecure about?
Oh, my nipples? You can tell
I
them about
didn't know
that.
if you wanted to bring it up.
You're good.
I was just going to give you the option.
No, dude, I had like, you know those like knots you get in your nipples when you're like going through puberty and they kind of go away?
Breast cancer.
Yeah. So I have that. I have like these knots and stuff like that. And I always was like really insecure about my nipples like popping out of my shirt. And so I thought about doing that.
The top surgery.
Where they
Joey Camasta.
They take out the thing, and they did it. And we're on a flight, and Will sits me down. We're sitting on a flight, and we're talking about it a little bit, and there's like a pause, and he goes, "Hey man, you're gonna do whatever you want, but like I don't think you need to do that. I think you need to be fine." Like literally a heart to heart. It was like on some spring tour thing.
I'm just thinking to myself, yo, you get a tit
surgery.
job done, bro.
That'll follow you.
That'll follow you.
Tit job follows you forever, bro.
Dude,
It's gonna be hard to stay
it's
away
like
from
these-
the jokes.
It was like, they're still in there. I didn't get it done. I was like real insecure about it. And then he sat me down, and then my wife was like, yeah, bro, like no one notices that. I was like, I guess I won't do it. And literally since those conversations, it's kind of just like gone away.
It's an untold story.
That's an untold story.
No, I can't believe that's untold.
Yeah.
Question number 3. We're on beer number 3.
Is this a spelling thing?
No, God no. I want you guys to each rip out a page in there. I want you to draw your ideal Bussin' with the Boys fan. What does the ideal fan of Bussin' with the Boys look like? There was some that
Sure, will you stand up for me?
It's so funny. I was thinking about Sherm too.
All right, I'm ready.
All right. Will, you finish first. Let's have you go first.
This is my character. The explanation's pretty easy. I thought of Sherm, a few extra pounds on him. They have a Baylor Bears hat on because you can be a fan of any football team and still be for the boys while also holding a foam finger that says Go Big Red because I like to envision.
I like that.
My ideal fan is a Husker fan.
Okay. Is that an upside down pussy on his pants?
No, I was trying to draw like strings. I was trying to draw strings coming out of the shorts, but I could see how you kind of
I thought it was an inverted uterus.
Yeah. But somebody blue shirt, like black shorts, kind of a mismatch a little bit.
And what's the inspiration for the curves around like the kind of sides of the stomach?
Sherm, you want to come up here?
Oh yeah, see now I see the kind of curves on the side.
Yeah, that's where the inspiration for the curves come from.
Oh God, that's good.
But that's a pretty
that's
spot on drawing
outside of the
our boy
mid-caps,
Sherm.
it's all there.
But that was my inspiration.
Really nice.
Yeah, big Sherm.
Congratulations.
Good job, Sherm.
Yeah, absolutely. You did a
well
great job,
done.
Sherm.
Well done. Really, really like that. That's really nice stuff.
Really similar. What I went in my mind is I look at the guys in the back of the bus, and it's like each of them possess a quality that I enjoy about our fan base. I have multiple colors here. It's just to be able to show like fan bases. You can be a part of any fan base you want to be. I gave my guy a bunch of tattoos. That's a tip of the cap to Garrett and Jack back there. I didn't know how to make a lanyard and lots of things in their pockets. I would have done that for JP. I feel like a lot of our fan base has a mustache or some sort of facial hair on their body. Hat always on. I give them a collared shirt as well.
Collar shirt with shorts.
Also a couple of extra LBs. I think that was important to have on there too.
Why?
We're in Tennessee.
It's like being in a relationship.
A lot of good home cooking in Tennessee.
When you're single, you're trying to stay fit, you're trying to stay active, blah, blah. I need to find the right one. You get in a relationship, you get a little happy. All of a sudden, you put that comfort weight on. I'm enjoying myself. I still feel very comfortable with my significant other. Bussin' with the Boys is the same way. You come, you don't know what podcast is going to be one for you. You stumble on Bussin' with the Boys. You get comfortable. You get happy. You enjoy the week in and week out banter of the boys. And for that reason, you have a couple extra burritos during the week. You put a couple extra LBs on.
Have you guys ever heard it that it's suggested that you kind of envision a specific person whenever you're doing your art, your podcast? You want to know exactly who your audience is, what they look like?
I've never envisioned the exact person that we're looking to.
I have not thought about that one time.
Well, I mean, this is what this exercise is for.
We just did it.
The
And
exact demo.
we're
This
very
is our
similar.
demographic that we need to be
That's
selling
your demographic.
to. This is our
you want to sell
demographic.
to. So it's like when you're talking to advertisers or something like that. It's
Right.
like, what products does that guy need? Maybe like some kind of razor or something like that because he has a beard. Maybe it's some kind of weight loss thing or something like that. Yes, if that's what they want to do.
Mine, you gotta love ball.
You have to love ball.
Gotta love sports.
Got to enjoy the process of sitting down and enjoying your teams.
So do you guys think of your fans as fatter than yourselves?
No, I mean I can get pretty husky, so I think about I kind of think of myself a little bit.
Yeah.
You see yourself in the mirror. You're just podcasting to you.
Yeah. You're trying to be relatable. Hey, diet starts on Monday. We're all eating together. Pizza Friday. Let's promote Pizza Friday. We're all going to eat together. Yeah, I'm all about the food.
I love that. If you had to pick one country's cuisine to eat for the rest of your life, but at the same time, that country's people get wiped from the face of the earth,
Damn.
what country are you choosing?
Damn.
You pick American cuisine, sure. We all cease to exist.
Damn. Mexican.
You're trying to wipe off the Mexicans?
I'm not trying to wipe them off. It's just my favorite cuisine, man. I feel bad. And especially in this climate, it's such a terrible thing to say right now, but I love Mexican food.
You're wiping off some workers.
some workhorses, some good people, some grinders.
Think about it, Ron. Do you ever see a homeless Mexican?
No.
No. They're grinding.
They're working and they might have...
They are wrongly stereotyped.
Yes.
They are grinders.
Oh, 100%. The siesta, I don't know who put the idea of this siesta out that they're taking naps. Maybe they're taking a nap because they're up working, right?
Because they're working, they only take naps, they're not getting a full night's sleep.
And the C-suite too, you know what I mean? All different types of grinding.
Yeah, but dude, I mean...
Their cuisine is so
cuisine,
damn
it's the
good.
best. It's the best.
Is that your favorite cuisine?
By far. And I thought about going different ways, but like, Greek? But
I was just thinking Greek because it's not like I know many.
Country. I don't know a lot of Greek
I
people.
don't know a lot of Greek people.
But,
and they have great food. So yeah, I would say Greek.
I know a couple of Greek people that would feel bad. They're very, very pushy individuals, very confident,
Yeah, but
very
you
loud.
only know a couple of them.
True.
What Greek food are you enjoying? Souvlaki, saganaki?
You know, the chickens, the rice.
Euros.
The tzatziki.
Yeah, tzatziki's good.
Lamb.
Yeah, fire.
They use a little bit too much cucumber for my taste.
See, I like cucumber.
You do?
I do.
I think it's a nice little compliment to their dish.
You think it's refreshing?
Yeah, I like it
tzatziki has
refreshing, yeah.
cucumber.
Cucumber is very similar to the celery. It's not going to be your main portion, but it's always good to have that texture in your meal.
Who are you wiping off?
Well, who did you go with?
Greek.
You're just wiping the Greeks off?
Yeah, the Greeks off.
You know,
'Cause
Greeks came up with like democracy. Like
came
the
up with
Greeks are like-
Stoicism originated from there too, but now.
Did it? I thought Marcus Aurelius, the Roman, came up with Stoicism.
No, Greece is where
Really?
the origin of Stoicism came from.
I believe
so then
it.
you wipe them off. Now we can take over Stoicism.
Okay, so we just take their things.
History's written by the victors.
Right.
We got them wiped off. Now we have Stoicism and we have their food. And I don't know many Greek people, so
It doesn't hurt as bad.
yeah, there could be a couple hurt feelings out there on saying that, but
What, like a nice fish, a nice Greek fish, a big ass like sea bass or something like that is
I don't
fucking
even know
delicious.
if they make that.
They do, no, they do. A
You don't
fish-
even know
think-
Greek food.
Yeah.
Chicken
you're
and
just,
rice.
You're eager to
You
kill
just
the
say,
Greek.
yeah, that could be any dish. Italian, chicken, rice, pasta.
The breads,
Yeah.
the cheeses,
I
No
don't
one's-
mess with
the
Italian.
tomatoes.
No one's picking Italy. Because, I mean, I think maybe some people are, honestly. Italian food is great, but are you killing off all Italian bros?
Well, he's killing off all the Mexican bros.
It's a tough question because of that.
Is
Are you
this-
taking out the Italians?
Oh, God, no. The French. They're so easy to take out.
French?
Yeah.
What kind of cuisine? Do you give me
They,
like
I
fries?
mean, French, the word cuisine. I
Chicken,
think, is
rice.
French. Chicken, rice. But a lot of cooking techniques, I think, originate from the French. So, the best cooked chicken that you'll ever have, the best cooked steak you'll ever have is probably a French technique of cooking, I think.
I don't know if
It's-
that.
I
I
mean,
don't know if that. I don't know if that's it.
It might be made up.
Maybe I don't know.
All right,
I don't
the
know.
Indians then, the Indians.
Damn.
Starting to feel them a little bit, honestly.
Are you?
A little bit. I mean, there's six. We're about done with six. Taylor, when we search your name, one of the first things that comes up is Jeffree Star. Will, multiple times, you've pissed yourself on camera. Why do us white boys find the gay, penis, and poop stuff so funny?
That is a much deeper question than I expected that to be. Because it is so true that the white guys are always the ones to like do the gayer thing or the piss thing or the poop thing or the fart thing way more. I don't know.
The Jeffree Star stuff, like, I know that that's not like, yeah, I'm fucking secretly gay. You know what I mean? It's like, it's funny.
Yeah, I thought that would be like I saw them with a football player that was 6'7", white, and wore Vans, going to Montana. And so obviously there's like 6 of us in the NFL, and I'm one of them. So I thought it'd be funny to be like, am I in Montana right now? And that's how he ended up commenting on that. And we DM'd him coming on the show. And then it ran into a bit that just went farther and farther and farther to the point where we're at this Drake party. And TMZ is like flashing cameras in my face, being like, are you dating Jeffree Star or this? And Will comes up and was like, yeah, they're dating. Blah, blah, blah. Like totally bought into it.
Because it's funny.
We were like, all that stuff was like a whirlwind for like 24, 36 hours or whatever. And Will and I, it's like 2 a.m, we're driving back to the place we're staying in Arizona. And I sit there with Will, I go, hey, did I take that too far? He goes, nah, I don't know, man, maybe a little bit. But it is funny.
He was like, would you do that? I was like, I mean, I probably wouldn't do it, but this was like the perfect storm.
It was a weird deal. To me, it was funny.
Why do you think that gay
So-
shit is funny?
In the Even in the locker room, like you put it even on white people, but it's not even that. Like in the locker room in Nebraska, like we play gay all the time, and that sounds gay. But it's ultimately it's ultimately like if you feel like there's if a guy's like really against it, or he's kind of like I'm saying the word
like really homophobic,
if he's really homophobic, like he just doesn't want to play with it or anything else. Like if me and you are goofing around and we know Taylor's kind of homophobic about it, it's like you just want to play gay with him because that's making me and
put
you laugh.
your hand on his leg, and the way he reacts, like, hey man, stop playing that gay shit. It's like, okay, now I got him.
It's like you see a little leak in the pipe.
Because the sports world is very. I'll just speak for football. Like it's a pretty homophobic space in the locker room. Everyone's kind of like always posturing, and I feel like the white guys are always trying to mess with the black guys in a lot of ways, being like, "Hey man, how you doing today? Man, what you doing?"
I'm telling you, in Nebraska, we had a mix.
Yeah.
Yes, bro, we had a mix. We joke about it all the time.
Is it like a covert way to show how secure you are, almost? To be like, I'm so secure in my straightness that I'll be like, yeah, I'll touch his leg. It's not gonna make me gay. I know I'm not gay.
Even going on that, like going into the psychology, I remember one time we were doing a walkthrough in Tennessee, and it was like me and I think DB, like DB's black, and me and DB were kind of messing around. We're like, how many dudes on the team you think would admit to meat peeking in the shower? Because it's like when you're all showering together afterwards, it's not like you're going out of your way to look. Like maybe a couple.
But you're gonna see it. Like, I can see
maybe a couple
right
of us will goof around and be, hey, good for you. But you're not like looking for it when you walk in the shower. But everybody sees each other.
Well, because that's not sense of humor. That seems like insecurity, meat peeking, or it's just like, or maybe more be curiosity. It's like I just want to see what they're working with.
Because no matter what, you got to be happy with your own.
Well, yeah.
You got no choice. You got no choice.
You can be a little down about it at times. Like I know mine right now, he's a little scared right now.
But that's fine.
But you got to be able to love your own.
Because your blood's somewhere else.
Yeah. Blood's trying to rush to the brain. Right?
Trying to work through something.
You're accessing your psychology right now.
I would go around and ask guys during walkthrough, like if they meat peeked or not, and you would just know the guy's like, come on, man, not with that gay shit, or like, no, I don't do that, and you would just know. I know you're lying. It's all good because it naturally happens.
You walk into the shower and everyone's showering. I'm looking you in the eyes right now, but peripherally, I can see what you have.
But do you ever go so intense with the eye contact to just be like, I'm not looking at your dick. Like you're just like.
There was a couple guys you can't help it. The dick ends up trying to shake your hand.
Yeah, it's just fucking. You just see a pendulum in the background.
Yeah, we had a guy at Michigan, dude. That thing went down and curved to the right. Where one time I got on a knee and looked at it, and I was like, "You need to put this away. Like this is ridiculous."
So, do you have black teammates, or have either of you had black teammates who think the gay shit's funny or whatever?
Oh yes, bro.
Yeah?
Many.
I look to the battle rap world, and it's like. People will throw around the pause, like pause. So, even if you say something mildly gay. But the dudes who are the funniest about it are just like white dudes. Like my bro Pat Stay is like a 6'5", fucking jacked up white dude. And like he had the best gay jokes. And it was just, he was the most secure, and like a lot of the black culture would kind of laugh at him. And it's like, why us? Are we gay? I mean, go ahead.
No, we'll finish that thought.
No, I'm just saying that's an interesting question. Shout out BK, shout out DY, some of the gay homies out there.
Shout out to Jeffree Star. Where's that out? When was the last time you parlayed with bro?
I brought up a couple times about him coming back up on the show, and it's never met with a lot of enthusiasm.
Why? What? So are you leaning towards the homophobia?
No. You just know like that moment in time, like how big it was. It's like you're in the world of content and everything else. You feel like some things run its course. Like, are we trying to keep? Is this a thing we're trying to keep alive the entire time?
Well, why wouldn't you?
We found Will's line. We found his line.
Will, what's the secret to a great fart video? How do we get to that point? Is it diet? Is it protein consumption? Is it body positioning? And Taylor, following on the back of that, what's the funniest fart that you've experienced in like a football setting? Is it like a practice? Is it a team meeting? Like farts never stop being funny. Is it locker room? When's your funniest fart? We'll start with Will.
The craft to a fart is protein. I'll say a little caffeine too, but you can't go too much caffeine. Because then you can push the boundary of is it going to be a fart or is it going to be a shart? But protein is the key to a good fart. Keeping yourself, 30 grams within 30 minutes of waking up.
Do you think that's real? 30 grams, 30 minutes?
Yeah, 30 grams within 30 minutes of waking up. Eating your pounds in grams of protein, I think, is a key to success when delivering a good fart video. And delivering like the art of the fart is ultimately all about timing. Whether I pick somebody that I want to troll and ultimately just want to fart on because it's like, I would love to make this video because ultimately it's going to be fun content. Or if you're telling a story along the way to where you get to that point of something that could be serious and then you just bring the camera down and lay a fart into them. I feel like it's all about timing in those moments. Or it's like, my first one I think I ever experienced where I timed it so well I got kicked out of the locker room. My 7th grade basketball team, we had just lost. We just lost the game to Potosi. And our coach was really tearing into us in the locker room after the game. And he came to a pause when I think he was asking us a question, like, do you guys even want to be out here playing? And it was silent for a few seconds. And I ripped a nice little high-pitched fart. My boy Sean, he laughs next to me. Coach Easter loses it on both of us, kicks us out of the locker room. We're out in the hall and we're kind of giggling about it because it was like, the timing
of that fart was crazy.
And that's when
That was an intentional leak?
Yeah, that was an intentional leak.
So you have one in the chamber, basically, that you can fucking fire off at any time.
Not all the time, but I'd say a good 85-90% of the time.
So right now you just are sitting on.
Because I had food poisoning this week in New Orleans. We're recording this in New Orleans right now. Eating those oysters, there's no fart that I would release because I would. Yeah.
It is brilliant. It is always funny.
Farts are funny.
It's always funny. Like, it was probably funny in Roman times. The Aztecs probably laughed at the fart. The Incans, the Ethiopian cultures probably enjoyed a fart.
And even in serious moments when a fart happens, you just get the...
You could be the most mad you've ever been in your life and someone rips a well-timed fart and it's going to diffuse anything.
Yeah.
Diffuse it all. The best fart compilation I've ever been a part of was this past August in Detroit. We were waiting between interviews to do some of the Lions guys. And I don't know if it was JP or Will first, but one of them started walking around and just farting on all of us and like made it all the way around the room, just a little.
The training camp in Detroit.
And then literally we're laughing our ass off. And then the next one, whether it was JP or Will went second, did the same thing. It was probably the funniest situation I've ever felt with a fart in my life.
It's so damn funny.
Dude, it is.
Because ultimately, think about it. There's going to be enough people out there that ultimately know that whatever's happening, it's not that serious.
And you know what is key to know? Women think it's funny too. Women enjoy a fart too. They let that thing.
They? I haven't been behind
any lines like that. They let that thing go in the women's bathroom.
Do you think so?
I know so.
I don't know, man.
You don't. What do you mean?
They have to somewhere. I'm with you. My wife doesn't really fart around me a whole lot, and I'll know when she does. I'll be like, sweetheart, let's not listen. I know when I do.
You won't let her get away with it?
No, I mean I would. She just never really pushes that. She just never does it, even though I'm like farting all the time.
I've heard Taylor fart one time, and it was the hardest I've ever laughed in my life.
And she was probably embarrassed.
No, she did it on purpose.
So why have you only heard her fart one time? She thought it was
because it was just we were in Canada. We're at her mom's. She's gonna hate that I'm telling the story. I'm like having.
But if she's not embarrassed, then
you tell it.
She
was like in no, we won't cut it. She was like in her second trimester. Like she was getting bigger with our first daughter, Wynn, and she's like leaned over on the counter like this, and I kind of like went up to her like, hey, what's going on, or whatever, and you just feel her kind of clench a little bit, and you hear like a little, like a small one, dude, and it was the first time I ever heard her fart, and it killed me. Yeah,
so why didn't she rip him?
I just don't think she's about that life like that. I'm not a big farter myself.
Everyone's about that life, bro. That's why I'm with you on when they get in the girls' bathroom. Like, I'm curious when Charles farting, because I don't really ever hear her fart.
It is a real thing that they have to go through.
Yeah. And again, it's all good. Like, I'll still get after it after a clean shower. You feel me? You guys feel me, right?
I feel you.
If you could each poach 3 people from Barstool for your next content adventure, present company excluded, obviously, me and Tyler, booze off the table, who are you guys taking?
So you're off the table.
I'm off the table.
Is it 3 for him, 3 for me, or 3 in total?
And drafts back and forth. So you can't have the same 3.
Okay, I would go Gruden.
Grew.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I think his content is so untapped. He's already doing such an amazing job here. He's going to be a massive star in this world.
He's a natural.
He's a natural, and he's just so comfortable in his own skin. He can go into a room. He owns a room while also adapting to the room. He's got that presence about him.
Adapting is key. He
Yes.
really is able to
I think
sit
he's
down
incredible.
with Nick, sit down with me. Some
Yeah.
guys who aren't football guys, and he'll still give us the time of day, and he'll still give us his best version.
Right, and he makes you, like, when you're around him, like, you want, like, he's still got that coach vibe where you, like, kind of want his approval too.
Yeah.
Like, we were walking away yesterday from a skills challenge. He's like, "I love you, man," and he might have just been saying that, like he says to everybody, because I heard him say it 3 more times to 3 other people.
Yeah.
But that "I love you, man" to me felt different. It just feels nice.
Second overall pick, Will Compton.
And this is anybody.
In front of the camera, behind the camera. But these are Barstool people who aren't in your inner circle and present company.
I'd pick Dave.
Okay, why?
I enjoy
The
it.
glazing's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
He's not gonna fuck you, bro.
No, I love cutting it up with Dave. Like, I love
Yeah.
the content that we get to when we get to interact with each other. I love the little rivalry. Obviously, the work of that man speaks for itself. I'd pick Portnoy.
It seems like he really enjoys his rivalry with you.
Yeah, I think like we're a fun mix.
What's
So,
the key to it?
I don't know. I have no clue. Like,
Outsider looking in, I don't think either of you take it so seriously.
that's what I'm saying. I think we like when we're cutting up, whether it's surviving was the most recent thing. Like when we're putting our content out, whatever it is, we're also both texting each other what we're saying, and then going back and forth with each other. Ultimately, like laughing back and forth. I think there's just like a non-serious aspect to it that That's why I pick DP.
That's a great pick.
Second pick.
So we did 2 people in front of the camera. I'll go behind the camera. I'm gonna go Fasoli.
Ooh.
Every time around Fasoli, he's grinding. The fact that he's got a Barstool tattoo on his thigh, like he lives and dies for the brand. Like, you want guys that are just willing to die for the brand and be a part of it.
Wow.
And love it. And I think he's a grinder. He's a great dude to be around. He's a great conversationalist as well.
How did he get on your radar?
Just being here for 4 years, seeing him in New York. I think the first time we walked in the building, he was the first guy there as we opened up those glass doors. He already had the camera in his hand, like Will and Taylor in
Good
Barstool
soul
headquarters.
too.
Good
He's
soul.
got a good soul.
He's about it. He doesn't seem like he complains. He looks like he works hard all the time.
Secure.
Secure, like he's a good dude.
I mean, I was going to bring his name up earlier when you were talking about titty surgery. Mm-hmm. Because he dumps them out. And
he dumps him out.
he does, and of course it's not the perfect male chest. He doesn't give a fuck, bro. And I've seen him at his most vulnerable moments at Vegas pools and stuff
I was
like
about
that.
to say something so nice about this. Like, when you mentioned titty surgery, like, he's tits out, man.
Second pick for you, Will.
Let me continue to glaze and run away with this draft. I'm going to take Big Cat. I got Dave and Big Cat, 2 guys who don't even need cameras. They're making content all day long.
You know, you
Great
don't work-
mix
you
of
don't work
people.
here anymore.
I
They
know
don't
that,
pay
but
that.
we're trying to draft guys that are going to be with Bussin with the boys.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If I'm sitting here making content with Dave and Dan, it's like, Taylor, good luck with Fasoli. I mean, you got Gruden, but that's about all you have.
But are we talking about?
We're talking about
Fasoli's
bringing
kid?
them to Bussin' with the boys.
Yeah, but now we're competing.
Okay.
Bussin with the boys, we're 2 different branches now. And we're running away with this draft.
All right.
So you're bringing Big Cat because he just has the content brain.
Absolutely. Again, you have guys like that. Fasoli is a great pick. You got a guy behind the camera, but you got 2 guys who don't even need a camera. They use the camera themselves. They know how to create content. Again, Big Cat, his work speaks for itself.
Okay, last pick.
Well, now this is a competition. I got to take PFT.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
this
damn
guy
good.
is an absolute stud. I mean, he did the writing for the Workaholics movie, Game Over.
He did?
He was a writer.
No, that's false. I saw.
Is it really?
Yes, because Sherm had it on the production sheet, but that's false. When I saw PFT the other night, he's like, "Hey, who'd you guys have on today?" I was like, "Oh, we had on Jameis. We had on the Workaholics guys." I was like, "Hey, I heard you did some writing for their movie, in Workaholics." He's like, "No, I didn't." I was like, "Hang on, you didn't do any writing with the Workaholics guys?"
Sherm.
He's like, "No, where'd you hear that?" I go, "I could have swore that was on
Sherm.
the production sheet."
We can let him work through that though, but like PFT himself, like his brain.
So that doesn't
the way
change
he,
your pick. The fact.
No. I think he's outstanding at content. He's well versed. He understands the game. It's just similar to the content thing. He understands how it all works. The Big Cat and PFT were talking about this when we interviewed them. It's like they could go and do their own shows and both be successful, but it wouldn't be what it is without both of them together. And I think if this is still a company, I don't know if we're in a competition or what, but you just take those two and bring them into the Bussin world, and you're officially winning the game. It's over.
Who's your last pick?
Get Nick, dude.
Nick? You said get Nick? Go get Terani.
Nick.
Go get him. He's sitting at home. He's like,
on the short list.
Come get me, coach. All right. Talk me through your prospects. Talk me through the rest of the
prospects, there's three that I'm thinking of right now.
Okay,
One is Nick. The other one is Feidelberg.
Oh, yeah.
I love fights, bro. He's just a guy's guy. Like, fights is one of the best. But the other one I'm thinking about, which I feel like if I'm thinking about the mix of Dave and Dan, who would enter in well with that mix of us three?
Rico Bosco.
Ryan Whitney.
Great pull.
That is a killer roster right there.
That's a killer roster.
That's a killer roster right there.
Pieces never Rico.
So I think it's going to be Ryan Whitney with the roster that I have right now intact.
And if you take Dave from Barstool and Whit from Barstool, you know Biz is right there too. So really, you just got 2 draft picks for one.
Yeah,
that's
you might have Kirk. You might have Kirk.
Yeah, I might have Kirk too.
We had Kirk.
Have the unnamed
and if
show.
all those guys go, Jersey Jerry's knocking on the door also to get Big Cat.
Then I got Jersey
Rico's
Jerry.
going to knock on the door. We won't answer, but he'll knock on the door.
Where's it at with Rico? It's bad?
No,
What do you mean?
Rico's a good guy.
Bad?
What are you asking exactly?
He just said,
before we answer
Rico
that?
knocks on the door, we don't answer. Are you not answering the door for Rico Bosque?
Oh, yeah, I love Rico.
I love Rico too.
Someone's lying.
but-
Hey, someone's lying.
But
Oh, do you not love Rico?
I love Rico. I think he showed his true colors to me at surviving Barstool. And I'm not
Well,
gonna
yeah,
forget that.
everybody kind of showed what they were doing. At the end of the day, Rico's in bed with Dave.
Yeah, but you can be in bed with Dave from a partnership standpoint or an ally standpoint, but to take the thing off your head and to give it to him, that puppy dog bullshit doesn't fly with me.
When you eat a chicken, do you consider the chicken's life? Should you? And if the chicken lived a good life, are you doing it a favor by eating it?
Can you repeat the question?
You'd start from the top.
When you eat a chicken, do you consider the chicken's life?
No.
Should you?
No.
If
you want it to go down the way you want to, you can't be thinking about that.
If the chicken lived a shitty life, are you doing it a favor?
I think there's actual studies to where the way animals are put down, if it's done more from like a surprise standpoint, not a stress standpoint, there's like chemicals that go into the meat.
Right, like hunting the deer from the
Yeah, but like
helicopter.
even like when chickens go in, like chicken, there's no wild chickens out there. The boys are all kind of like. When's the last time you seen a wild chicken?
Yeah, there are, but we don't eat the wild ones.
They're hatched from an egg that you're ultimately like feeding the chickens, right? And they just hatch the eggs. Like
Chickens have to have
chickens-
sex to have those eggs be fertilized. An egg is nothing more than a chicken's period.
Okay.
Eggs are ethical.
So what you're saying?
Eggs are just period.
Where do these wild chickens graze?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if there are really any wild chickens.
That's
anymore.
what I'm saying. But I got my guys laughing at me in the background.
That's all right. Hey,
Right,
lock up
yeah,
the
you
doors.
go to Key West, you go to Hawaii or something like that, there's going to be chickens who are milling about. But of course, we're
So
not
those
just
are
like
the-
grabbing those up and like whipping them around like
Those
a
are the
helicopter
chickens
to
you
kill
need to
them.
eat.
Those are chickens you need to eat. If a chicken has a shitty
But
life,
you're not eating those ones. When you get Wingstop, it's not the fucking Hawaii chickens. It's not the Puerto Rico chickens or
It's the
fucking
Atlanta
Key West
chickens.
chickens. Yeah, they're the Atlanta ones.
I think you need to be thankful for the chicken you're eating and know that there's nutrients it's about to give you. You say, hey, thanks, chicken. I
That's
appreciate
almost
you
like the
sacrificing
Native
this for me."
American way to look at it. Like you kind of kneel over the body of the elk that you've just killed.
Right.
And you say, hey, I'm thankful for everything the elk has gone through. I'm thankful for what it's about to give me, the pelt, the fucking penis that I'm going to eat, the elk
Yes.
penis.
Yeah.
So just praying before your meal.
I don't know.
I guess, yeah. If that's
Just
your
being grateful
bag,
for your meal.
be
Yeah.
grateful for your meal. Always should be grateful for your meal.
But you consider the life of the chicken as part of being grateful.
The next chicken I eat after this conversation, I will consider that.
I don't
chicken's
think
life.
there'll be a chicken I eat from now on that I don't think about this conversation.
That's why I said, if they have a shitty life, are you doing it a favor?
Yeah, I think no matter what, I'm ordering that spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A.
You're just a savage.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm going to kind of separate my mind frame from the fact that that was an alive chicken.
I don't even have to consciously think of separating or compartmentalizing. I think it's just been so ingrained in our culture that you're ordering that number 2 on the menu and you're going to eat it and you don't think any differently.
But I think Taylor's saying that he will like kind of approach it from a thankfulness standpoint. Be like, okay, you were born, you had a mother chicken.
I think we should put into consideration like the type of chicken we're eating, because one chicken is not the same to the other chicken based on the steroids and the different stuff that are put in it.
Either way, you should be thankful for it. They're not choosing to inject
exactly.
or transition. They're not
I
choosing
agree with
that
that.
life.
I agree with that. Absolutely. I think we should also change the way we go about harvesting our chickens or growing our chickens.
So this is something I've been on for a while. Cloned meat. If someone
I'm out on that.
Yeah?
I mean, just the sound of it sounds terrible.
It sounds bad, but what if a chicken never had to be alive for you to eat it?
So you're talking to me like PETA. And I'm not saying
PETA.
He's thinking deep, right?
He's thinking deep, but I'm thinking to myself, like, why wouldn't we let the course of nature take its place?
Yeah, you want to taste the death.
I want to eat the chicken that was naturally put on this earth by its chicken mother.
But I mean, it's not naturally put on the earth if it's in the chicken factory where someone put steroids into it.
Which brings me back to we should be looking at the way we harvest our chickens or harvest our livestock in general, whether it be chickens, cows, turkeys, anything.
Just a light question.
It didn't feel
it's
very light.
There's some
anymore.
depth there
Again,
for sure.
Now when I order food, I'm just going to be thinking about this roided out chicken.
All right, you guys are walking down the street. You see a homeless person. You look into your wallet. All you have is $20 in euro. You have 20s in euros. Are you going to give a euro to a homeless person with the knowledge that they'll have to exchange that for an American dollar for it to be substantial for them?
I think you walk up to him and he's holding up his sign, says anything helps, and you pull out your wallet and be like, brother, this is all I got, and you show him. All I got is euros. Do you want this?
You're going to give the homeless guy the chance?
I mean, if I'm in a spirit in giving, which isn't all the time.
Really? You really
with the homeless folk.
You didn't have to say that.
But I'm trying to be real. Yeah, I'd give a euro. Ultimately, it's like do whatever you want to do with it. Do what you got to do. You want to take if you need this money this badly, then you're going to figure out a way to turn it into cash.
Yeah, and there's always those videos of guys like trying to take a paperclip and turn it into a house. Like I'm sure he could trade that euro for something else.
Yeah.
That turns
It's
into
worth
something
something.
else. Yeah, it's worth something.
Put yourself in the homeless bro's shoes. What's his next steps after he gets his euro?
If I was given 20 euros and I'm homeless, it's like, all right, if I need cash, I need to go turn these euros into cash. How can I do that? If I don't know where to go, I'm going to ask somebody. I'm going to ask for a little help. It might take a few extra questions because people might give you the time of day. But ultimately, that question is going to turn into, okay, here's where I need to go to turn this into cash.
So it's just giving them an asset that they can flip.
Hey, why are you getting so mad about homeless people?
Well, I'm not getting mad about homeless people. He's
opportunity. All right, I got to ask you.
He's like, well, put yourself in the shoes of the homeless. Well, I'm like, I am. Here's an opportunity.
I feel like he got madder at the moment you put himself in your shoes. Like you're pissed off about being homeless.
Well,
Homeless guys
here's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about how Sherm got hustled the other day because these dudes gave us CDs. They stopped us, they threw CDs in our hands. Then they're talking about, hey, can you donate? Can you cash? And I'm like, I didn't have any cash on me. They're like, oh, you got Cash App, Venmo? I was like, I don't got none of them. He's like, I see you got an iPhone, so you got Apple Pay. He has Apple Pay. And then I just stood there because I'm like, bro, I'm not trying to give you money for the CD. Like, I don't want to be holding the CD. You just put it in my hand and I accidentally grabbed it.
Oh, you told him straight up that you didn't want to help him?
I didn't tell him straight up. I just stopped talking because he kept trying to go through all the like, hey, money, this, that, the other. I'm not like trying to hold the CD. They got Sherm. Then they get $10 out of Sherm. Sherm's like, oh, I got to hustle for the $10, but I'm gonna go see if they have some bangers on the CD. He goes back to the hotel room, plays the CD. There's no music on it.
It was buns?
There was no music.
You would rather he even tried than just put some bad songs on.
Right, at least like.
It'd have been funnier if it was just him over a voice track saying like, hey, I got you.
Yeah.
Thanks for whatever amount of money you gave me.
Right, because they basically got him. So maybe that's where my little workup is coming from.
I kind of respect that.
Yeah.
I kind of respect that game of just kind of sitting out there and being like, how am I going to make money today? I'm going to go con these two white guys. And it give me $10 real quick for a blank
You go to the
CD.
Walgreens in the morning, you get the stack of blank CDs, you put them into some sheaths, and you're like, oh, I have my fucking game for the day.
Right.
It's probably
right.
exhilarating
Hustling.
a little bit.
Hustling.
Yeah. And to that point, what are you sitting there holding with CDs? What are you holding?
Opportunity.
Wow, future money.
And it's all about what you do with it.
Yeah.
So if somebody gives you 20 euros, you have an opportunity. It's up to you to turn it into cash.
How consistently do you give money to a homeless person when you see them?
It depends what I have. If I have 1s, 5s, 10s, I'm giving it out. 20s, 50s, 100s, that's for daddy. All right. Are there any guests that you wouldn't have on Bussin' with the Boys?
I'm sure there's guests we wouldn't have on.
Like whom? Bonnie Blue?
Yeah, Bonnie Blue we
Yeah.
probably just wouldn't. Like if she requested to come on the bus, it'd be like, what are we trying to accomplish?
Why?
Because she's just in the porn industry. Like she's getting railed by 1,000 dudes. Like what are we trying to accomplish?
Well, what if
by
someone's in
having
the
her on
porn
bus?
industry and they're getting railed by 5 dudes? Is fewer better?
I mean, I guess we probably would have a porn star on.
I don't think we would. Who?
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
Rochelle Ryan. Like,
Well,
Like,
she's
no.
fantasy football royalty.
oh no, I like Rochelle. I've seen Rochelle at UFC a couple of times. She's been doing a bunch of stuff at Barstool. She had the thing with Joey Camasta.
She's in a fantasy league with Franklin.
She's like, the times I've been around her, like she's a good person. However, like she talked to me at a Power Slap event about coming on the show, and I just was frank with her. I was like, listen, like, we don't
I have a Sibian that
I don't
big
have
for
a
you to
problem
come
at
on the
all
show.
about what you do for your profession. Like I don't judge that at all. However, like me and my co-host Will, like we're both married with 2 kids, with 2 girls. Like I don't know what we would be like promoting or accomplishing in that situation. I like, had to like be like real with her in that.
That's when you got to think to the type of people we're trying to attract to the show.
Right,
Not
that's why,
trying to
that's why
attract, but
Jeffree Star is
ultimately you're
totally
like,
fine.
So you think that guy? Can you hold up your drawing again?
Yeah.
You think he sees Bonnie Blue and he's like, ew?
Yeah, you're probably right.
Do you think there's a situation where you see someone coming on and you're like, I'm gonna try to dismantle his points with like how I think?
No, because I don't think I have the range in my brain to go on there and think I'm gonna have somebody on just to dismantle their points. Ultimately, people that we have on, it's like everything we do with content, we want to bring the locker room to life. It's like you want to have fun conversation, talk about story, journey, and everything else. But we're never thinking like we want to have somebody on because we want to
we're not
engage with them and debate and dismantle their
we're not a
points.
debating podcast. We're an open forum. Like we want to hear what you think. We're gonna massage what you think, dive deeper into your thought process as opposed to your
So
thought
why not
process
Bonnie
is
Blue
wrong and
then?
here lies. Dude, what is she doing?
Again,
What has she done?
Well, let's find out from her.
You have her on warm ones and give a report back. Let us know.
Can I pass her along to
yeah,
you guys?
it's like
have her on and let us know if it was worth it, and then we'll ask her.
you can pass her along.
I'll pass her along.
Pass her over. Yeah.
It's like I'm legitimately not against the things that she does, but I'm just thinking if she was getting pitched for Bussin' with the Boys, I'd be thinking, why did they want her on Bussin' with the Boys?
Right.
And like, what are we all sitting here trying to accomplish? There's really no in-depth context story that's outside of what everybody knows, and that's the current things that she's doing.
Yeah, like what did Bonnie? Well, maybe you can put me on game. I have no idea what Bonnie Blue was doing before this 1,000 guys thing happened.
Probably like 100 guys.
Okay, is that impressive?
I don't know. Honestly, I've done any guys. I'm just curious where the line is.
We don't know where the line is, honestly.
That's why
Anytime
It's a
guests get
fluid
pitched to
line.
us,
It's a fluid line.
if Taylor and I are even like in the gray area, we go to the fellas in the back and we ask their opinion.
Do you feel like people have unfairly politicized your podcast because of your guests?
I think no matter what, you're not going to make everybody happy.
Right. Yeah,
like
like-
when we had Trump on, the big thing we said was like we can sit here and say we're not going political, but ultimately we're having on a political candidate that could ultimately be the president of the United States, and we accept that. And ultimately, we know that this brings in new fan bases to where there's going to be sports fans, football fans, dads that come and listen to our stuff because we do the dad stuff, and ultimately we're trying to grow that side of the brand, and ultimately show or bring out the locker room of Donald Trump.
I think that's the best thing you've said, like, or the most illuminating thing that you're just trying to bring the locker room to life. Like the locker room, it seems like it holds almost a sacred place in your heart where you're like, okay, the locker room is like where guys are guys, and we can fucking talk about shit, and we're real, and we joke around, and we're ass naked, and we're fucking looking at each other, and we're seeing what the penises look like. You know what I mean? And like, I think that's nice. I think that's almost a noble aspiration.
That's what every person who's ever played a sport misses is the locker room. As razzing around with the boys, looking at each other naked, all of the things, dude. That's what you miss the most.
What does Pat Mahomes have that I don't have?
That you don't have?
What does Pat Mahomes have that I don't have?
He's got a handful of Super Bowls,
Multiple
7
multiple
AFC
MVPs.
championships in a row.
Okay.
Multiple Pro Bowls.
Okay.
Multiple All
You
Pros.
talk about billions of impressions.
Second most playoff wins in history for a quarterback.
Okay.
He's a girl dad.
Fuck. Okay.
$500 million.
He gave you food poisoning and you're putting on the cape.
I've
I'm
been pro Chiefs.
I'm go Birds.
I've been
bro.
pro Chiefs this past week and a half.
Why?
Well,
Yeah, I'm
food
go
poisoning.
Birds, Rone nasty.
But this is after the fact though. We probably already either won or lost.
But I'm Birds.
That's why I lost.
Are you guys are really leaving?
Even what?
Here's the thing, bro. Rone, all we're doing is going independent.
Dog, nothing's changing.
Who was Barstool's competitor? Is there one?
ESPN?
We're not going to ESPN.
You're not?
No.
We're going independent.
Independent.
So you'll be right there?
We'll still be in the same spot.
You look out your window, guess who's your neighbor? Us.
I just can't believe it.
We're doing this right now?
Why can't you believe it?
I love you guys.
We love you too.
Yeah, we love you too, man.
Well, there's an extent to it.
During our negotiations, I didn't hear from you trying to sell us on staying at Barstool.
Well, I have no power.
So I'm saying though.
I'm a worker.
But you're saying we're leaving you, brother. We're not leaving you. Our name just isn't attached to Barstool anymore. We still love Barstool.
I've had nights where I cry in my room,
Are you serious?
where I leak a single tear. At least I well up and I say my brothers are going to like a foreign land and like they're going to war. And when you go to war, you could get blown up. You know what I mean? I might never see you again. I might never see you.
I mean, I guess that's a potential, but I'm telling you, bro, like that, we're just going independent.
I fucking love you guys.
We love you too, man. Barstool's allowed us to spread our wings, and we're just wanting to spread our wings.
Get rich. Get stupidly rich.
We're gonna try to, bro. We're just
Evil
leaving
ass
for
laugh.
downside.
Best then.
Get rich and hey, do it for all of us. Do it for all of us back home, all right? Do it for all of us back on Earth. I can't thank you guys enough for doing this, for just being the first ones, you know what I mean? For giving us a chance on the way out. It's fucking amazing. And there's no doubt in my mind, you're going there. And,
You're the man.
Yeah,
Huh?
we appreciate you, man. You're
Yeah.
the man.
No, you guys are. It's so sick
No,
that you guys
you.
came on.
We love you. Oh, matter of fact, I got one question.
We don't have time, bro. Let's go.
I got one question, because Unsas called me.
All right.
Do you, I don't know if you do, but does Sass actually think we took the girl dad idea from boy dad?
He doesn't think that.
I think he thinks that.
No, he knows it.
So you think it too?
No, he knows it. He doesn't think.
You for real
Do
think
you
that?
think it?
No, I don't think about it. I've never thought about this before in my life.
So he calls me and I can tell in his voice, I'm like, does he actually think that that's what it came from? Like, it wasn't a thing that, I know in my life, it could have been before Kobe, but Kobe Bryant's talking about it.
Yeah, you took it from Kobe. It wasn't us. You took it from Kobe.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
That feels
fair.
much better.
It feels nice to take something from a black man instead of two. All right, brother.
That's a great show.
We tap up after that.
You guys are the best.